Well, hi everyone. My name is Aaron, and I serve as the campus pastor at Saddleback Eastvale in Riverside County. Thanks for watching this devotional. I hope the next couple of minutes can be an encouragement to you in your week. Over the last couple of weeks, I've had a couple of really honest conversations with people about how they're doing right now. And I heard some people say, I feel like I'm doing a whole lot, but I'm not getting to where I want to be. People are saying I'm more tired and stressed out than ever before, or I feel discouraged and out of energy. Or I don't think I can keep up with the pace that's being demanded of me from work and my other obligations. And there's this common thread to what each person is saying, that they're worn out, they're fatigued, which leads to discouragement and stress, which leads to even more fatigue. And I don't think that they're alone. It's not an isolated story. In fact, I know that they're not alone because I've had many seasons in my own life where I've felt the same way. And the problem is that we've oftentimes forgotten the importance and the priority of Sabbath rest. Sometimes we're so busy doing things that we forget to take a step back to rest and restore our soul. Sometimes we forget that we're human, we're limited. Even Jesus himself got tired. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is about Jesus taking a nap in a storm. You may know this story as Jesus calming the stormy seas, but I call it the story of Jesus' nap time. And even when my kids were toddlers, I would tell them this story to try to get them to sleep, but it never worked. At least, I tried. This story is found in the Gospels, but I'll read it from Matthew 8. Jesus and the disciples are in the midst of an incredibly busy and fruitful time of ministry. They've expended a whole lot of energy and effort. And Jesus says, let's get into a boat and go on the other side of the lake. And starting in verse 23, it says, and when he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great storm on the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by the waves, but he was asleep. And they went and woke him and said, save us, Lord, we are perishing. And he said to them, why are you afraid, O you of little faith? Then he rose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. And the men marveled, saying, what sort of man is this, that even the winds obey him? There's so much humor here. There's this crazy storm happening. It's loud. The boat is getting tossed around. The wind is howling. There's water filling up the boat. They feel like they're going to drown. And yet Jesus is fast asleep. What a contrast. What a contrast. And it must have been, honestly, a pretty good nap, because Jesus seems to wake up a little bit grumpy, and it says that he rebuked the wind and the waves. But this isn't the only time that we see Jesus resting. But this is a stark reminder to us that if Jesus himself needed rest in the midst of chaos, you and I do too. I'm just a human. You're just a human. And you need rest. Because, let's be honest, when I don't rest, I don't think straight. I'm not my best. I get irritable and irrational. And nobody really wants to be around me. And when I don't rest, oftentimes things seem worse or look bleaker than they actually are. Have you ever noticed that? That when you're unrested, situations and problems seem so big, but then after you've rested, those same things usually seem more manageable? Sabbath rest gives you and I a different perspective. So maybe in this season you've been going. Maybe you're worn out and tired. Maybe you're discouraged or defeated. You're having trouble facing the uncertainties of life. Maybe others are noticing that too. You and I need Sabbath rest. Why? Because you were designed that way. The God of the universe, the one who created you, who knit you together, knows what you need. He designed you. He hardwired your brain to need rest. Not just sleep, not just a day off where you catch up on chores, but true soul-filling rest. The kind of rest where you're communing with God, where you're enjoying his good gifts, where you're laughing and playing and connecting with God and others. This kind of rest is so important. In fact, God thought it was so important that he put it in the 10 Commandments. The Sabbath made it into the top 10 list. And he wants us to make it a priority. But what I've noticed is that this is probably the one commandment that most people most easily ignored. We've got the big ones down. Don't kill, don't steal, don't covet, don't make false idols. But when it comes to remembering the Sabbath and keeping it holy, we oftentimes quietly ignore it. Why do we do this? Maybe for you, it's that you just simply haven't prioritized the Sabbath. Or maybe you're trying to prove yourself, so you overwork. Or maybe you're afraid of who you're going to let down. Or if maybe you're wondering, if I'm not doing anything, who am I? Whatever the reason is, you need Sabbath rest. A Sabbath rest where you can stop and let God take care of the waves and the winds. You can rest in His presence knowing that He'll take care of you. Because your worth does not come from what you make, it comes from your Maker. So if you haven't rested in a while, if you haven't prioritized the Sabbath, take some time this week. Take a full 24 hours to do just 3 things. Number 1, to pause and to stop working. Number 2 is to pray and to recognize the presence of God. And the third one is to play and enjoy God's good gifts, knowing that God is going to take care of you. And I believe that in the midst of the storm, if you take a Sabbath rest, it'll look different after you do. Thanks for watching. God bless you this week.